Hello world, I'm Robin Catling, and this is Write On. Join me in my author journey as I delve into the craft of writing, bringing you tools, tips, and lessons learned the hard way so you don't have to. The All Is Lost story beat. The All Is Lost story beat is obligatory in just about every story structure from the hero's journey to save the cat. It comes at the end of Act 2 into the beginning of Act 3, when the protagonist's efforts fail dismally, or the antagonist gains an unassailable advantage. Staring into the void of defeat, this dark night of the soul finds the protagonist at their lowest point. It's quite often triggered by the death of the mentor plot point, as in Fellowship of the Ring, Star Wars, and Eragon. In Pride and Prejudice, it's the ruin arising from Lydia's elopement with Wickham. Great Expectations revealed Magwitch as Pip's patron, just before the convict's fatal injury and arrest. In Star Wars, it's the death of Obi-Wan. Most superhero stories have an All Is Lost. For The Dark Knight Rises, Bruce Wayne has to recover from a broken back and literally climb out of the hole he's buried in. No one says it has to be subtle. The All Is Lost story beat brings the characters to the lowest level, the furthest from their wants and desires. It should also be an expression of the theme of the story. Luke's loss of family, yet again. Pip reduced to poverty, again, with added social stigma. Ingredients of All Is Lost. For this story beat to work, it has to include 1. Some raw emotional pain, 2. A revelation or discovery, usually the protagonist finding I'm the source of the problem, and 3. No obvious way back or way out for the character. On the positive side, this incident is the trigger for character growth, change, or transformation. They necessarily have to find a way to uncover and respond to truth, adjust their worldview, and begin the fight back. Importantly, the All Is Lost has to serve two purposes. It must be an isolating experience for the protagonist that teaches them to stand on their own 2 feet, or pass from childhood to adulthood. 2. It has to deliver an emotional punch to the reader or viewer in the downward story arc. Without this, the character's gaping wound, as H.R. Costa frames it, is a mere paper cut and deprives the story of its emotional impact. All Is Lost in practice. Revising my manuscript for Book 1 got me examining both the low point and the turnaround. This dovetails neatly into a previous post on completing the character arc. Originally, my protagonist was grumpy swordslinger Vala. Around the 2/3 mark, he sets off to cut the head off the snake and take out the lead villain, only to discover the lead and second villain joined forces. A very bad outcome. However, I switched protagonist to our headstrong psychic heroine, Jo. After a premonition of Vala's death, she has to go on the stupid suicide mission in his place, via a serious breach of trust. It's a high-risk mission she's hardly qualified for, with faulty second sight, no backup, and a low chance of escape. And the same team-up of the 2 antagonists. An even worse outcome. It raises the stakes right at the critical point in the story. This gave me 2 dramatic scenes to work with. Jo's vision of Vala's death, which then sets up her reworked version of the stupid suicide mission. This stupid suicide mission, not surprisingly, fails. First and second villain team up, and she can't take out both of them. Even if she escapes alive, it ruins the relationship with Vala, and the bad guys are on their tail in full force. For all her psychic ability, she didn't see that coming. How does she come back from this when the antagonists are closing in? That's for the turnaround in the dramatic and climactic final act. That's all for now. Thanks for stopping by. You can like and subscribe to the channel or go to robincatling.info to check out the blog.